one of my favorite parts of really this Senate hearing over the latest introduction to the, or potential introduction to the newest team member at the health department. I'm talking about Casey Means. Look what she had to say when getting grilled by the Senate.
We've had 2 children die from measles in West Texas. We now have an outbreak of like 1,000 children almost in South Carolina area. You're a mom. We're on the verge of losing our measles elimination status. Would you encourage other mothers to have their children vaccinated against measles with the MMR vaccine?
Like you, I'm a physician. I believe vaccines save lives. I believe that vaccines are a key part of any infectious disease public health strategy. And I would work with you, the CDC, the NIH, ACIP,
But would you
FDA.
encourage mothers to vaccinate their children with the MMR vaccine, seeing how we've had children die in this outbreak in South Carolina?
I'm supportive of vaccination. I do believe that each patient, mother, or parent needs to have a conversation with their pediatrician about any medication they're putting in their body or their children's bodies.
You're the nation's doctor. Would you encourage her to have her child vaccinated?
I'm not an individual's doctor, and every individual needs to talk to their doctor before putting a medication in their body. I absolutely am supportive of the measles vaccine, and I do believe vaccines save lives and are an important part of the public health strategy.
We've had a tough flu season this year. Would you, as past surgeon generals have, encourage Americans to get vaccinated with the flu vaccine?
At the risk of sounding repetitive, I do think it's very important as a physician and to rebuild trust in public health to make sure that patients are encouraged to have informed consent with their doctor before getting any medication. I believe vaccines save lives. I believe they're an important part of public health. I also do not want to not encourage patients to have a conversation with their doctor. I think it's incredibly important, and informed consent is going to be part of building trust in public health.
Well, you know, when these moments happen, I've had a lot of reporters reach out to me and see what I think, and they'll point out the fact that obviously Cassidy, who was really just Bobby Kennedy, barely got past Senator Cassidy in order to be HHS secretary. It's a heck of a gauntlet sitting in that space trying to answer questions. Honestly, I think Casey Means, I know her to be an honest person, so is Robert Kennedy Jr. But maybe I have a little bit of a bias since this is the Informed Consent Action Network that we work for. This is an educational program for the nonprofit Informed Consent Action Network that I founded all the way back in 2016. Informed consent is everything. Now, the reporters that are asking me questions, well, there's people, in your movement or in the anti-vaccine movement that will say that they don't like the fact that she says she believes in vaccines. And I say, look, this is a free country. Everyone should have their opinion. But one thing that we stand for, that Aaron Siri, that does the work in courtrooms, stands for, is your right to choose. Aaron said it. You have a right to vaccinate if you want to vaccinate, and you have a right to avoid those vaccines. We shouldn't be telling each other what to do. We certainly shouldn't have government agencies deciding what choices they're going to make for us. I love it when Cassidy asks her, you'd be Surgeon General, you'd be the nation's doctor. Can't you recommend the MMR vaccine? She's like, but I'm not the patient's doctor. And I think that is critical. That is at the basis of this entire conversation. Hippocrates, the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm. What that meant was, I am here for the patient sitting in front of me, not for the vast body or the greater good of everyone else, and you might die. I can't worry about that. The entire point of the Hippocratic Oath is that I am dealing with the patient right in front of me. I'm listening to what is going on in their body. I'm studying their history, their family history of potential vaccine injuries, which, as more and more science comes out, I think Brian Hooker is going to prove to be exactly right. Nobody is surviving this program. It's just varying degrees of injury that is happening. We have never seen kids this sick. But I will say, I hope that Casey Means does get approved, and I hope that she goes on to be Surgeon General. I think she'll be dynamic. Obviously, her focus is food. Her and Callie Means wrote an incredible book. They've done a lot of great work on our food supply. I love the Eat Real Food campaign that Robert Kennedy Jr. is on right now with the MAHA movement. Food is important. Is it everything? We're not going to stop doing our work. We're going to keep showing the science around vaccines. But I'll be honest, I'm not under some delusion that one day vaccines are going to be wiped off the planet. There's always people that will believe in things whether or not they're smart to do. I mean, I've said, look, I ski. I just broke my ribs skiing. I'm still going to ski with my kids. You can have whatever opinion you want about that. But that's how I'm raising my kids. That's what I believe in. This is a free country. We're supposed to be a beacon of light and hope for the entire world to show what freedom looks like, which means we can have conversations, we can disagree, and ultimately live with each other and cherish the fact that we are so diverse in our perspectives that we can look at one single issue like vaccinations and have completely different perspectives on it. That's what we're talking about here. That is why all of these great experts come to the HighWire, because they know they're going to get an honest take. They're going to get to speak their mind and say exactly what happens, and even get into the weeds more than any other channel or network is going to let them do. I hope maybe one day Casey Means gets to sit here and I'll have some questions for her too. But we should be happy. I mean, no matter what, there's a lot going on, but Donald Trump did pick Robert Kennedy Jr. He did, allow Robert Kennedy Jr. for the first time ever, the HHS secretary, to select his cabinet members, what just doesn't happen all the time. I love many of the things that Dr. Marty Makary is saying. I love many of the things that Dr. Oz. Dr. Jay Bhattacharya was, one of the lead authors of the Great Barrington Declaration, and he's now in there at the CDC. These are powerful individuals. So as much as we're going to call out the mistakes and the missteps, let's also remind ourselves that there are some good decisions being made, and we're seeing people in government that never, ever in a million years would have been there before. So let's celebrate those moments, and let's pray for Casey Means that she gets confirmed, because I think she'd be a great Surgeon General.